Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the match between FC Barcelona and Rayo Vallecano, because in this game, Barcelona has unfortunately tied against Rayo 0-0 within their debut match at the Camp Nou. Many of us did expect for Barcelona to give out a great performance, winning 5-0, 6-0, 7-0. There was huge expectations, mainly because we have made great signings. We saw Lewandowski come in, we saw Rafinha come in, we renewed Dembele, Pedri, Xavi was there, Xavi Hernandez got exactly everything he wanted within his team, but we did not get the result that many of us did expect. And the reason why I am making this video extremely late, it is because I saw this match about 2 or 3 more times after the match was over, because I really wanted to assess why was Barcelona so flat through this game. Why did Barcelona underdeliver and not meet many people's expectations based off the quality that we do see on the field? Because at the end of the day, I know that Rayo Vallecano is a great team. We know that they are solid, but they're not Champions League contenders. They're not Europa League contenders. And when you compare a team like that to a team like Barcelona, knowing their quality, you should expect a team like Barcelona to win 4-0, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, 6-2 with a huge goal margin. But we did not see that. It was extremely flat. Now, there was a total of 81,000 people that did attend this game. Again, many people were really excited about Barcelona's debut match, but we underdelivered. We go into the first half, and I do think that we had great movement. It was okay. It was solid. Again, it was not to the point where we're like, okay, this is exactly what we have expected, but they did bring out a okay performance. The intensity mainly came from Ronald Araujo, who did play as a right back, Rafinha, and also Xavi. But we faced a very tough Rayo Vallecano side. One of the reasons on why Barcelona struggled so much to score within this game, it is because Rayo brought a great game also, because they have done great 1v1 battles. They have beaten players like the Lewandowskis, the Dembeles, the Rafinhas. Even though they were creating chances, Rayo Vallecano were always on their man. They also knew exactly like when to make those fouls, like when to like just throw themselves on the field in order for them to gain possession, which did greatly harm Barcelona because it was only time wasting. And this is something that Xavi Hernandez was extremely frustrated after the match was over, and he did explain something about this when it came to like time wasting in the post-match press conference. Now, as we continue to go through this video, I'm going to continue to talk about the positives and the negatives. But again, going back to the positives, we did a great showing when it came to dealing with the press, because Rayo Vallecano were pressing us really hard and with great intensity, but Barcelona were able to cope with it like okay, right? Everything was solid. I'm not going to say it was world class, but I can see why Xavi Hernandez really does opt for Christensen and Eric Garcia to play within that defensive line, because these are two players who are extremely comfortable on dealing with the press, and especially coming from Rayo Vallecano. They distributed the ball extremely well. They passed those balls into the midfield, but then this is where the problems do occur, right? Because the moment players like Xavi, Busquets, Pedri, Lewandowski, or maybe even someone like Rafinha or Dembele receive the ball coming from either Eric Garcia or Christensen, or maybe even Jordi Alba, that is where the problems did come in, because every time Xavi received the ball and he tried to find players like Lewandowski, it was unsuccessful. When Rafinha received the ball coming from, let's say for example, Eric Garcia, and tries to find players like Xavi or Dembele to like create some sort of duo on the field and to get themselves inside the box, it was also unsuccessful. Like, we did everything correctly when it came to like maintaining the ball, the possession, being able to cope with the press coming from Rayo when it came from the defensive line, but everything from there, from the midfield to the forward line, I felt like we just underdelivered. Like, again, we did okay, but we expected so much more based off the quality that we did have on the field. Like, sometimes when we saw Dembele or Rafinha try to connect, they overcomplicated things. When we saw Lewandowski and Xavi or Pedri try to connect, they again overcomplicated things. The passes did not look as sharp when we expected this team to look very sharp on the passes and in terms of movement, but that did not happen. Again, it was okay, but it was not sharp. It was not world class, and we really expected that from FC Barcelona. You look at where Rayo Vallecano's main position was within the first half, you can see that they were forming some sort of mid block, which made it very complicated for players like Pedri and Xavi and Lewandowski to create within the midfield. I think that they were trying to expand on the right wing to the left wing coming from Rafinha and Dembele, because you simply just couldn't do anything within the midfield, and that is something that I believe Barcelona should be working on, is how to overcome complications in the middle of the pitch. This is probably one of the reasons on why Xavi Hernandez wants Bernardo Silva, because Bernardo Silva is a master in terms of dealing with mid-low blocks and try to create something within the midfield and try to make those through passes that lead towards the forwards like Lewandowski having the ball in the box. Pedri can also do that very well, but to have another player like that would really help Barcelona. And here's the other thing, right, on why I believe Barcelona underdelivered within this game. And again, I'm kind of adding more emphasis on the first half, because I think that whatever did happen on the first half happened on the second half. But I'm going to show you guys a graph here, and I'm going to be explaining exactly what you guys are seeing here. You can see that there is a graph here starting from the first minute to to the 97th minute or 98th minute, and this is basically showing the graph on how intense Barcelona was in the attack. We are the green, Rayo Vallecano is the blue. The higher the graph does look like, the higher the bars are, that means Barcelona were much more intense in the attack. Let's say, for example, we see Pedri make it through ball to Lewandowski. Lewandowski shoots the ball and then the goalie blocks it, and then we saw Dembele pick it up and then he shoots the ball again and the goalie blocks it. Like, I'm talking about like that. I'm talking about creating chances, moving left to right, creating more and more chances, almost scoring and then almost scoring again. I'm talking about things like that. That is the intensity of the attack. If you look at the first 20 to 25 minutes of Barcelona's game against Rayo Vallecano, which is all the way on the left side, look at how low those bars are. We did nothing within the first 20 to 25 minutes. And this is what I do mean, right? Like the first 20 to 25 minutes that we saw, we're like, okay, like what is this? Like, okay, we're dealing with the press well, we're passing over here from Eric Garcia to Christensen to Ronald Araujo, but where's the attack? What are we doing? What are we building? There's nothing that's being created here. We have Xavi, we have Pedri, Lewandowski, Rafinha, Dembele, and we have yet to test the goalkeeper. Like, what is going on? And again, this graph is showing you exactly what Barcelona were doing in the first 20 to 25 minutes. Like, again, we kept the ball well, but what's the whole point of keeping that ball and not doing anything, not creating chances, not trying to score? And I'm gonna go back to what I did say before. We played okay, we maintained the ball well, we dealt with the pressure well, but with the quality that we did have on the pitch, we expected much more from this team, more danger to be created. What a waste of 20 to 25 minutes of the game. This is a moment within the first 20 to 25 minutes to score goals. Like, I think that if Leicester City produced something like this in the first 20 to 25 minutes, like we see the graph here, or a team like Arsenal or Fiorentina, we would have been like, okay, that's fine. Like, they did okay. But for a team like Barcelona, like, what the heck was that? And I was really thinking, right, throughout those first 45 minutes of the first half, I'm like, okay, what is a good solution for this? Like, what is a way for us to try and bring in an extra weapon for a midfielder to maybe drive forward into the box and overload the final third in order for us to create more chances? And that solution, that player that we needed, was someone like Frenkie de Jong, someone who does not necessarily always have to look for those through passes like what Pedri and Xavi and Busquets were trying to do, but to take the ball and drive forward, add another body into play, and that would only outnumber Rayo Vallecano. And then that is where Barcelona would find the advantage, but we did not see Frenkie de Jong in the first half, unfortunately. And as we go into the second half, we expected immediate change because whatever was going on in the first 45 minutes was not working, but we continued with the exact same starting 11. But we needed someone like Frenkie de Jong, but we did not see that until like the very last 20 minutes of the second half. And I expected better flow, but the only thing that we did see was our level being lowered, even though, right, listen to me here, even though we created more chances in the second half, even though we looked much more desperate to score, that is still something very unacceptable, because the only reason why we looked so desperate to score is because we knew that it was extremely hard to even play our own game and break down Rayo Vallecano. So those last 20 minutes of the second half, that is the exact same type of Barcelona and the exact same problems that we did see under Ronald Koeman. And I'm talking about specifically those last 20 minutes. That Barcelona, that version of Barcelona looked so desperate. They were trying to play in wherever way. They were being very individual, and only for us to produce nothing. Like, I literally saw Ronald Koeman's Barcelona in those last 20 minutes, which is very unfortunate. Like, the fact that we were like sweating and becoming very nervous in the last 20 minutes, and we're like, oh my god, like what's gonna happen? Like, we're trying to score opportunities here, we see this player trying to take it by himself. Those are last season problems, and those are last season feelings. And so I do believe that there were many errors within this game. Like, for example, we subbed out the wrong players, like Pedri, Jordi Alba. Why take out Pedri, the one player that was creating the most on the pitch and was trying to produce something with Lewandowski, Jordi Alba too? I don't think that he should have never been taken out. And I also felt like Ronald Araujo should have never played as a right back for FC Barcelona last night. I feel like Serginho Dest should have been there, even though we know that Araujo does okay in the right back. I still believe that someone like Serginho Dest or maybe even Sergio Roberto should have started on that side, because what a waste, right, to have Ronald Araujo as a right back when you know that this player can be very, very confident and world class as a center back in that defensive line. And I know that sounds very contradicting, because I did just praise how great Eric Garcia was with Christensen and how we need players who are very great on the ball in that center back position. But I do believe that when you face a team like Rayo Vallecano, you should be having players like Ronald Araujo and Eric Garcia starting in that defensive line right next to each other as a center back duo, in order to make Araujo much better as a center back overall, having become a better ball distributor. These are the type of games where you do need to test out a center back like that to produce something like this, because the only thing that you're doing playing Araujo as a right back is hindering his development, not making him better with within his position as a center back. So the only bright point I'm actually going to be talking about here within this game, because this game was boring, to be honest. Like, I was not impressed at all. I felt like it was very underwhelming. I felt like Barcelona should have done so much better. We literally saw moments of Ronald Koeman's Barcelona through this game, which is, again, so frustrating because we made great signings and now we have to use it. But the only bright point I'm going to be saying here is going to be this, and it's going to be revolving around Frenkie de Jong. Frenkie de Jong deserves to be a Barcelona player moving forward. I do not want to see Frenkie as a Chelsea player nor a Manchester United player. Like, the way that Frenkie de Jong did play in those last 20 minutes was so great. Those runs, those carries with the ball, his ability to press and take the ball away from Rayo Vallecano, which almost made Lewandowski score his first goal in La Liga. That is great. Frenkie de Jong is a great midfielder for this Barcelona team. He's always calm on the ball, which makes him a very reliable midfielder for this team. He was a protagonist within the final third. Like, his ability to also pick up the ball from deep areas and then make those runs into the final third, that can also support Ronald Araujo in case he can't find a player to pass it to. Frenkie de Jong is just that player to do everything on the pitch, and he really does show his quality, his technique, his technical skills immediately as soon as he does come in. So I do believe that he did change Barcelona's attack, which was a huge plus. I strongly believe that Frenkie de Jong is starting to feel that pressure that he does need to deliver, and he is really doing that. My preferred midfield moving forward, based off what I have been seeing, is seeing Busquets, Frenkie, and Pedri. Just those three players. If you guys are wondering, what about Xavi? Well, I do believe that Frenkie de Jong does have more quality, more technical skills than Xavi, and also he's more reliable in terms of keeping the ball. Xavi's still a great midfielder that I do believe should never be sold, like ever, but I do believe that as of now, Frenkie de Jong is the superior one and should be starting with Pedri and Busquets. And if Bernardo Silva ends up joining this team, maybe we can use a 4-man midfield and have Busquets, Frenkie, Pedri, and Bernardo Silva. And the second option could always be having Frenkie, Pedri, and Bernardo Silva, and Frenkie becoming that pivot for Xavi's FC Barcelona, because this player has to play. Pedri also has to play, and Bernardo Silva would also need to play. So that's basically it, right? That is going to be wrapping up today's Barcelona post-match review. Let me know, what did you guys think about Barcelona's performance against Rayo Vallecano in the comment sections down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.